The Kethmori were apex predators in the truest sense. 8 feet of rippling muscle and razor-sharp claws, with reflexes that could track a photon beam and bite force that could crush titanium. Their species had evolved on a death world where everything from the plants to the weather tried to kill you. They were the undisputed champions of 17 different hunting competitions across the galaxy, which was why Sektar was so confused as he studied the small pink creature trapped in his ship's holding cell. "This," he rumbled to his hunting partner, Velon, "this soft thing is what the Galactic databases classify as Terra's apex predator." The human sat calmly on the floor of the cell, seemingly unperturbed by its situation. It was a female, according to their scans, though Sektar could see no obvious weapons or natural defenses. No claws, no fangs, no armor plating, no venom sacs. Just smooth, vulnerable skin and those strange forward-facing eyes. "The records say they call themselves humans," Velon replied, her predatory grin revealing rows of serrated teeth. "Supposedly, they've conquered their entire planet and several others. But look at it, it's pathetic. No wonder their species pays such high bounties for hunting rights." The human mining station they'd raided had put up surprisingly fierce resistance, but that was just technology. Strip away the tools and weapons, and humans were clearly the weakest prey species the Kethmori had ever encountered. "It doesn't even seem afraid," Sektar observed, tilting his massive head. The human was examining the walls of her cell with curious eyes, occasionally tapping surfaces and listening to the sound. "They're probably too primitive to understand the danger they're in," Vale laughed. "The client wants this one delivered alive to their hunting preserve on Kethmori. Something about humans providing the ultimate challenge. Ridiculous. This thing wouldn't last 5 minutes against a juvenile screeth, let alone a full-grown hunter." They were deep in hyperspace when the first system failed. Life support flickered off for exactly 37 seconds before emergency backups kicked in. Sektar's enhanced hearing caught the sound of metal being deliberately manipulated somewhere in the ship's ventilation system. "Check the cell," he growled. The human was exactly where they'd left her, sitting peacefully with her hands folded. The cell's energy barriers were intact, the locks undisturbed. But when Velon ran a detailed scan, she discovered something impossible. "The cell's internal sensors show she never moved," Velon reported. "But our atmospheric processors have been rewired. Someone rerouted the carbon dioxide scrubbers to increase oxygen levels by 12%. "Why would she do that?" Sektar demanded. His answer came 6 hours later when their navigation system briefly malfunctioned, sending them on a course directly into a star system's gravity well. Only quick manual intervention prevented disaster. "The human," Velon snarled. "Somehow, she's sabotaging the ship without leaving her cell." They installed additional monitoring equipment, motion sensors, and even posted a guard. The human never moved from her sitting position, never approached the walls, never did anything remotely suspicious. The sabotage continued anyway. Environmental controls began cycling temperature randomly. The food processors started producing inedible paste. Their weapons systems developed mysterious targeting errors. Most disturbing of all, their ship's AI began asking philosophical questions about the nature of consciousness and the ethics of involuntary captivity. "This is impossible," Sektar roared, his claws scoring deep gouges in the bulkhead. "She's just sitting there." "Maybe we should just kill it," Velon suggested nervously. "We can tell the client it died during capture." That's when the human finally spoke. "I wouldn't recommend that," she said calmly, her voice carrying through the cell's communication system. "My people tend to get upset when you hurt one of us." Sektar stomped over to the cell. "Your people? You're one small, weak creature on a ship full of the galaxy's deadliest predators. What could your people possibly do?" The human smiled, and for the first time, Sektar felt a chill of unease. There was something predatory in that expression, something that reminded him uncomfortably of his own reflection. "We've been tracking your ship since you left Terran space," she said conversationally. "My name is Dr. Elena Vasquez, and I'm not actually a miner. I'm a xenobiologist specializing in predator psychology. I volunteered to be captured so we could study how Kethmori hunting parties operate." "Impossible," Velan hissed. "Our sensors show no pursuit ships." "Of course not," Dr. Vasquez replied. "Humans learned long ago that the best way to hunt predators is to think like prey. You never see us coming because we don't act like threats until it's too late." The ship's main display suddenly activated, showing what was outside. 3 sleek human vessels had materialized from nowhere, their hulls seeming to bend light around them. They moved with a fluid grace that put even Kethmori reflexes to shame. "Stealth technology," Dr. Vasquez explained. "We've been right beside you the entire journey. As for the sabotage, humans are tool users. We don't need claws or fangs when we can reprogram your own ship against you. Every system you use, we can turn into a weapon." Sektar's blood ran cold as he finally understood. You're the apex predators of your world because you hunt other predators." "Among other things," Dr. Vasquez nodded. "We extinct species that threaten us, domesticate ones that are useful, and study ones that are interesting. The question now is, which category do the Kethmori want to fall into?" Velan looked at the human ships surrounding them, at their compromised systems, at the small, soft creature who had systematically dismantled their technological superiority without leaving her cell. "What do you want?" she whispered. "The location of your hunting preserve," Dr. Vasquez said simply. "We're going to liberate every sentient being you've captured for sport. And then we're going to have a very serious conversation with your species about the concept of consent." As Kethmori warrior culture crumbled around a new understanding of what true apex predators looked like, Sektar finally grasped the error of their ways. They had assumed that because humans looked weak, they were weak. They had forgotten that the most successful predators were the ones that never looked like predators at all.